gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new legal breaking reporting and video analysis update. I've reported on this before, back in January. MAGA granny Pamela Hemphill has, yesterday, June 1st, rightfully, legally, constitutionally, and lawfully refused a pardon by Donald Trump. You all may be asking, for those of you that are new here, who is Pamela Hemphill? She is a January 6, 2021 Capitol rioter who stormed the Capitol illegally in Donald Trump's favor to try to keep him illegally, unconstitutionally in power and overthrow the 2020 election results. Let's take a look at this brand new reporting and break down all the details by CBS News. The article, ladies and gentlemen, is titled, "Former Trump supporter Pamela Hemphill refuses and returns her January 6th pardon." And ladies and gentlemen, the article reads, amid the wave of pardon and commutations, pardons and commutations, President Donald Trump has doled out to some of his supporters and surrogates. One former MAGA loyalist in Idaho is fighting to return her pardon. Pamela Hemphill is one of the more than 1,500 people whom Mr. Trump pardoned earlier this year for their roles in the U.S. Capitol insurrection. She has invoked help from her Republican senator to formally refuse and block the pardon Mr. Trump issued her on January 20th, the first day back in the White House. Though Hemphill was a defendant of the largest criminal prosecution in American history, she is seemingly standing alone now as the only January 6th defendant to refuse the clemency Mr. Trump offered. Speaking with CBS News from her home in Idaho, Hemphill said the pardons just contribute to their narrative, which is all lies, propaganda. We were guilty, period. Quote, we all know that they're gaslighting us. They are using January 6th to continue just just to continue, Trump's narrative that the Justice Department was weaponized, unquote. She said, adding, quote, "We were not." Or excuse me, they were not. When the FBI came to my home, oh my God, they were very professional. They treated me very good. Hemphill pleaded, unquote. Hemphill pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge for her role in the crowd on January 6, 2021. Prosecutors argued Hemphill, quote, was in the front of the crowd that confronted U.S. Capitol Police and other law enforcement officers attempting to keep the rioters behind the metal bike rack barriers, unquote. They alleged Hemphill galvanized others to descend on Washington for the certification of the electoral vote after the 2020 election, according to court filings. Quote, on December 28, 2020, Hemphill posted encouragement to go to Washington, D.C. for January 6, saying, quote, "It's a war!" Unquote. On January 1st, 2021, she posted a message, "On my way to Washington, D.C., January 6th, unquote, the prosecution said. Hemphill also pleaded guilty in January 2022 to a count of unlawful parading and was sentenced later that year to a term that included 3 years of probation. Her case mirrors many other misdemeanor cases from the U.S. Capitol siege, in which members of the crowd were not accused of making physical contact with police or damaging any other property, though prosecutors emphasized how much members of the mob contributed to the breakdown of police lines, the injuries, and the damage to American democracy. Hemphill told CBS News the pardons for her and fellow members of the crowd were inappropriate and damaging Americans' views of the federal government. Quote, "How could you sleep at night taking a pardon when you know you were guilty? You know that everybody there was guilty. I couldn't live with myself. I have to be right with me and with God," unquote, Hemphill said. Former pardon attorney Liz Oyer who was fired by the Trump administration in March after a disagreement over a case, told CBS News that Hemphill's protest is a sharp contrast from the conduct of other Capitol riot defendants who championed their own pardons. Quote, some January 6th defendants blew up our phones seeking a copy of their pardons. They wanted the copies quickly, unquote, Oyer said, adding, quote, they wanted it framed and signed, unquote. Court filings reviewed by CBS News show other January 6 defendants have utilized their pardon certificates to make arguments in court about their cases, restitution payments, or other legal matters. In contrast, Senate records obtained by CBS News show Hemphill sought assistance from Senator James Rich to secure a formal acknowledgement from the Department of Justice that she will not accept her pardon. In an April 2 correspondence from the Office of the Pardon Attorney to Senator Rich, the Pardon Attorney's Office wrote, quote, Ms. Hemphill's non-acceptance is noted, unquote. The letter said the Justice Department would not issue Hemphill a formal certificate to chronicle her pardon. In a statement to CBS News, a spokesperson for Rich said, quote, the office of U.S. Senator Jim Rich regularly assists constituents with matters pertaining to federal agencies or programs. Due to the privacy concerns, we cannot disclose details about individual cases, unquote. Hemphill has sparred on social media and said in podcasts with other January 6 defendants over her arguments about what she says is the whitewashing of the Capitol riot. In one segment on a podcast earlier this spring, Hemphill debated Enrique Tarrio, a former Proud Boys leader who was convicted at trial and received the longest prison sentence of any January 6 defendant. Tarrio's sentence was commuted by Trump. Hemphill told CBS News she expects her protest will garner the attention of the president. Quote, I will probably say that ungrateful lady. I'm going to make sure she gets back on probation and give her the worst you can give her. I won't be surprised, unquote, she said. Ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it for this second but brand new legal breaking reporting and video analysis update of Granny, who is the one of many illegal, unlawful January 6th defendants who rioted in support of the illegal insurrectionist, fascist, sexual predator, and 34-count felon Donald J. Trump, or otherwise known as the pink taco or orange taco or orange tampon. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's legal breaking reporting. Firstly, if you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting and video analysis update, please firstly like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Secondly, if you guys would also would like to make sure that you stay up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please. Secondly, hit the bell icon as well as the all notifications option. The bell icon is located directly beneath the screen here on the right hand side of the subscribe button. Thirdly, if you guys would also like to make sure you're always up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please follow me on my social medias that'll be linked down below in the video description. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys would like to help me reach the goal of 170 plus subscribers, the reason why I am saying 170 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 170 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 170 subscribers. Fifthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe. And please stay positive and know that justice will prevail eventually correctly on the correct side of the law, despite Donald Trump and his illegal, unconstitutional regime and administration's illegal, unconstitutional executive orders, actions, and behaviors. Lastly, and always look for the points of light in today's unfortunate induced illegal darkness caused by the illegal, unconstitutional Trump administration, Trump regime. And I will talk to you guys in the next legal breaking reporting, and I look forward to talking to you guys then.